Welcome to Bermuda.
This is our island home. We live on a tiny island in the middle of the Atlantic Ocean.
We love it here. We come from a gorgeous place.
And tourists flock from all over the world to come enjoy our beautiful pink sand beaches.
But we got a serious problem. Just below the surface, there is a threat.
Today's military weapon becomes tomorrow's peacetime instrument. Plastics will play as large a role in peace as they do in war.
The post-war shift to mass consumption and consumerism was driven to a large degree by the boom in plastics. In 1955, a new disposable lifestyle was portrayed in a Life magazine article entitled Throwaway Living. It was a concept we fully embraced, and the amount we have thrown away since is staggering.
Plastic, plastic, plastic. Would you look for them on land? Perhaps they are in the sea.
There are now over 6 billion tons of plastic in landfill or escaped into the environment. In 2015, an estimated 150 million tons of plastic was in our oceans. And brace yourself, plastic production and plastic pollution are expected to triple by the year 2040.
We're a relatively small population of 60,000, 900 miles away from our nearest neighbor, and this is what we're finding.
My parents tell me it never used to be like this. Pollution is everywhere and our coastlines are changing.
It's not here where the real damage is being done, but out here in the open ocean.
Plastic is cheap, durable, and versatile, but at what cost? First of all, plastics are made from toxic chemicals that come from the production of planet-warming fossil fuels. Then, as plastic is exposed to sunlight, it releases methane into the atmosphere. And finally, the chemicals in plastic become even more toxic as they travel around the ocean. Other chemicals attach to its surface, creating what are known as persistent organic pollutants, or forever chemicals, because they do not degrade. Some plastics float while others sink. They are found throughout the water column from the surface to the deep ocean. Tragically, this has a direct and deadly effect on marine wildlife. Fish consume thousands of tons of plastic each year, which can cause internal injury and death. Turtles and other marine animals also are ingesting plastic in such quantities that it clogs their digestive tract, leaving them unable to eat or be nourished by real food. More than 1 million seabirds are killed each year by ingesting plastic they mistake for food. Discarded nets and ropes known as ghost nets continue to trap and kill marine life, and their durability means that killing can continue for decades. And the toxicity of the plastic ingested is magnified through what is called bioaccumulation up the food chain, until that toxicity arrives on your dinner plate. Like it or not, we all have skin in the game, and if we take no action, it is estimated that by 2050, there will be more pounds of plastic in the ocean than pounds of fish.
You may wonder, how is all this plastic getting to us out here in the middle of nowhere? Trash travels. It gets washed down from city storm drains and pushed by wind and rain. It makes its way to the ocean through waterways. Once it reaches the ocean, it could travel thousands of miles. The Gulf Stream is a big current that runs past Bermuda. It connects to other currents that circle around the ocean, forming a gyre. The gyre creates a giant vortex of accumulated trash.
Plastic pollution entering the North Atlantic is spun into a giant vortex with scattered patches of trash stretching hundreds of kilometers across in size. But don't imagine a huge floating island of trash, although sometimes it is visible on the surface. These garbage patches contain plastics of all sizes throughout the water column, including tiny microplastics like a huge plastic suit.
There are 5 gyres in the world that accumulate trash. This is where Bermuda is. We live right here, on the edge of the North Atlantic gyre. Because of our geographical location, we have a unique opportunity to observe and record ocean plastics.
When it comes to litter and waste, there appears to be an attitude of out of sight, out of mind. But the problem doesn't go away. It goes somewhere else. And as one of the only land masses out here, we are the somewhere else. On the surface, all appears well. Pink sand, idyllic views, and happy tourists. In Bermuda, we work hard to keep it this way. We arrange regular cleanups at the beaches, along the shoreline, and underwater too. Our famous South Shore beaches are raked on a regular basis. But look a little deeper, and you see that Bermuda has not escaped the plastic storm. In fact, we're standing directly in its path. In order to get a true picture of the marine pollution problem, we picked a beach to monitor that faces the open ocean and prevalent winds. The small beach on Nonsuch Island is part of Bermuda's premier nature reserve. Access is restricted, so there is no chance that local litter will contaminate the scene. What is on the beach will only be ocean plastic debris that has been pushed ashore by tide and storm surges.
Since access to Nonsuch Island is by special permission only, it is a controlled setting. Only the Nonsuch team cleans up the beach. They remove the debris that has washed ashore and set aside everything that is collected.
Over 18 months, the team collected enough marine garbage to fill a tennis court, nearly 2 tons of it from this one small beach. Analysis of the trash began by separating into 2 main groups based upon where it came from: maritime activity or land-based activity. Maritime includes fishing and ocean transportation. Land-based includes recreational and shoreline activities and personal care products.
Leading global researchers say that 80% of plastic pollution in the ocean has come from land-based sources, and the remaining 20% from maritime activities, like fishing. But here in Bermuda, because of a unique geographical location, we are seeing very different statistics. The majority comes from the fishing industry.
It is also important to note that ocean pollution found along the continental coastline is more likely to be whole and intact, freshly littered trash. But in Bermuda, because we are located in deep ocean, we find very degraded trash that has been at sea a long time. Most of it is broken into pieces, and so much of it is bitten by fish and turtles.
One country's mismanaged waste can end up impacting another country's environment. We find trash that lands in Bermuda that has come from lots of different countries.
The analysis also revealed several items that could be traced directly back to where they originated from. The first 2 are related to commercial fishing. The most frequently found items are octopus pot traps that can be traced back to Europe and the west coast of Africa. The second traceable item are lobster pot tags from Maine that have traveled 8,000 miles to reach us. Lastly, several ink cartridges washed ashore from a huge shipping container spill that happened in the North Atlantic gyre during rough weather in 2015. Proof that plastic from all around the North Atlantic basin rides the currents for thousands of miles, and unless it washes up on land, it may continue to accumulate in the ocean for decades.
So why do we care? Bermuda relies on a healthy reef to provide protection from hurricanes and provide a habitat for fish stocks and seafood.
We also want clean water so that our local residents and visitors can enjoy our amazing recreational activities. That's a major part why we love it here.
So what we found in this study is only a tip of the iceberg. Most of the plastics washing up in Bermuda are arriving in pieces. Exposure to sunlight and wave action has made the plastic brittle, and it degrades even further as fish and turtles bite on it.
Globally, we are not managing our plastic waste very well. National and international policy changes are needed for improved control over the production, use, and management of plastics. We need to speed up the development of better alternatives. Plastics that are not made from fossil fuels but have all the same benefits without all the side effects. Ocean cleanups cannot reach all the subsurface plastics, especially microplastics. So the best action we can take is to stop plastic waste from ever reaching the ocean. Countries can employ river and waterway catchment methods and work to improve waste management systems so trash is less likely to escape into the environment. They can push for new legislation to implement bans on certain plastics like the single-use plastics typically used and then discarded the same day. This should be balanced with incentives to do the right thing, for using washable, reusable items instead of disposable items.
The great news is that each person can make an immediate difference. A single action done by thousands really adds up.
We can use our purchasing power. Vote with your wallet. Refuse to buy any brands that are overpackaged in plastic.
And instead, buy the brands that offer an alternative to plastic packaging.
We can lobby for restrictions. Right here in Bermuda, we can support our government's proposed ban on single-use plastics. This isn't a ban on all plastics, just certain ones. Make the switch to washable, reusable cups, bags, and bottles.
And also, pick up litter wherever you see it, particularly near the ocean.
This is our story. We are hundreds of miles away from our nearest neighbor, and yet we are still being bombarded with plastic. We all depend on a healthy ocean, and here in Bermuda, we support the changes needed to tackle this crisis.
We invite other nations, towns, and communities to share their experiences, and together we can demand change.
At Axis, we're committed to protecting our planet, and we recognize the important role insurers and reinsurers play in mitigating climate risk. We're proud to support Keep Bermuda Beautiful, working with non-such expeditions and their commitment to bring attention to the critical issue of plastic pollution in our oceans. This work of keeping Bermuda clean and monitoring plastic pollution will not only deeply benefit residents of Bermuda, but all citizens of the world. Everyone has a voice and a role to play in protecting the environment. And even the smallest act can make a difference when the whole community pitches in. Indeed, one element of this project that I found particularly powerful is how local students got involved. Youth engagement is paramount to keeping our environment healthy, and I want to thank all of the students for their dedication to our island and to our planet. Clean oceans are important to everyone, and Keep Bermuda Beautiful's research demonstrates how we can all make a positive impact for the environment.